Let us start this session with the presentation of Laura Baker. What I want to encourage you to do, we have some really cutting-edge science and cutting-edge scientists here today. I'm not going to speak about each of them individually, but please read their bios, which are in the program. You are hearing from the best of the best that have been doing asbestos-related research. So let us hear first, however, from a warrior, Laura Baker.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Laura Baker from St. Louis, Missouri. I'd like to thank every expert, guest speaker, and families for being here today and for the unity we have shared. I have been a supporting family member of the Asbestos Disease Awareness Organization for 12 years in honor of my family members in the Libby, Montana health emergency that was declared in 2009. I have over 20 immediate and extended family members and many friends in Libby's health emergency. In November of 1999, the EPA sent a team of investigators to the small town of Libby, Montana, in response to media reports of a high incidence of asbestos-related disease among its residents. The response team found that homes, yards, school playgrounds, and industrial sites in Libby were contaminated with asbestos as a result of the W.R. Grayson Company's nearby vermiculite mining and processing operations. The community-wide exposure in Libby is one of the largest environmental and public health disasters our nation has faced. These impacts have made Libby one of EPA's most notorious sites and a high-priority Superfund cleanup. 23 years later, EPA is still working on the cleanup in Libby, Montana. It's been a long process. To date in Libby, I have 2 family members that have been diagnosed, one with asbestosis and one with mesothelioma. I also have a cousin from Virginia that died from mesothelioma. Asbestos exposure risk has been a national health risk for decades. 12 years ago, I began speaking up and advocating on the environmental exposures of my family members in Libby's asbestos EPA Superfund and Navajo Nation Uranium EPA Superfund. In 2014, I learned that I have been facing the environmental exposure risks of nuclear radioactive waste in the St. Louis region's EPA Superfund, making it the 3rd EPA Superfund of my family. All 3 of these EPA Superfund sites are listed in EPA's priority top 10. These are the reasons behind my 12 years of personal efforts, including many meetings that I have attended with EPA Chemical Safety Division, and including the White House Environmental Justice Advisory Council. Today is a blessing for me to be able to be here with all of you again. As of December 2019, I was diagnosed with stage 3 lung cancer. My symptoms began with 2 bouts of severe pneumonia in the prior years. In January of 2020, I began 16 months of cancer treatments consisting of a lung biopsy, radiation, chemotherapy, and immunotherapy. 2 years later, in January of 2022, I was re-diagnosed with stage 4 lung cancer. On February 1st, a biopsy was taken and sent to the National Cancer Institute's research. The biopsy showed my cancer has a very rare genetic mutation. Also on February 1st, I officially became one of 1,000 cancer patients nationwide in the National Cancer Institute's Cancer Moonshot Research Program, which was reignited by President Biden the very next day. I thank my cancer care team under Dr. Brian Fowler for their continued care, and I thank President Biden for reigniting the National Cancer Institute Cancer Moonshot program and for making it a priority to find cures for cancer. Since the opening of the Libby, Montana Card Clinic in 2005, Dr. Brad Black has medically served and diagnosed hundreds of patients as the medical director. Dr. Black is Senior Medical and Research Advisor for the Libby Card Clinic. He continues to be a leading advocate for the healthcare, treatment, and research to benefit those impacted by Libby's amphibole asbestos. Dr. Black has become an expert in identifying and managing Libby amphibole asbestos diseases and was an integral part in the planning and implementation of the original Agency for Toxic Substances and Disease Registry Asbestos Health Screening Program. His dedication to all the families in Libby and those across the United States affected by Libby's amphibole asbestos is greatly appreciated by me and the many patients he has served in the medical field. Over the past 16 years, Dr. Black has presented updates to all of us at the Asbestos Disease Awareness Organization conferences. And today you will learn about diagnosing and treating mesothelioma and other asbestos-related diseases. I am proud to introduce to you today our panel speakers, Ms. Christine Oliver, Stephen Markowitz, Dr. Brad Black, Jacqueline Moline, and Andrea Wolf, with a question and answer session to follow. So I thank you, Linda, and fellow ADAO members and supporters. I hope to see you again in 2023. Thank you for the unity and support to hold our legislators in the House and Senate accountable to addressing the legacy asbestos issues and protecting public health with the Alan Reinstein Ban Asbestos Now Act. Thank you.